There is a pervasive belief in modern society that sleeping 6 hours a night is a compromise, not a crisis. It is enough sleep to function, enough to drive a car, and enough to hold a conversation. You do not feel like a zombie. You simply feel normal. But biology does not operate on social compromises. When you restrict sleep to 6 hours for a single night, the impact is negligible. The body bounces back. But when you maintain this routine for 10 years, the story changes. You are fundamentally altering the operating system of your human biology. This is not a story about extreme insomnia. This is a story about the average person. We will observe how the body does not actually adapt to this restriction, but rather accumulates a silent, structural debt. The first crucial shift happens in just 2 weeks. If you cut your sleep from 8 hours to 6, your body initially protests. You feel groggy. You crave coffee. But by day 10, something strange happens, and the feeling of fatigue fades. This is the deception. Research shows that after 2 weeks, your cognitive performance drops to the level of someone who has stayed awake for 24 hours straight. You are functionally intoxicated. However, your subjective rating of how tired you are returns to baseline. The brain loses the ability to accurately assess its own impairment. You believe you have adapted to the new schedule. You think, I'm fine. I've got used to it. In reality, your brain has simply stopped reporting the error signals. 6 months into this routine, the changes move from your brain to your metabolism. Sleep is the primary regulator of your metabolic hormones. 2 specific hormones begin to malfunction, ghrelin and leptin. Ghrelin signals hunger, and leptin signals fullness. You are not just hungrier, you are specifically craving high-calorie, simple carbohydrates. Simultaneously, your insulin sensitivity begins to dull. Your cells become less efficient at absorbing blood sugar. When you eat the same meal you ate a year ago, your blood glucose spikes higher and stays elevated longer. To the outside observer, nothing drastic has happened. But internally, your body is shifting into a storage mode. You may notice a slight, stubborn increase in visceral fat, a metabolic adaptation to a perceived crisis. 3 years pass. You are still sleeping 6 hours. You are still working, exercising, and living your life. Sleep is the only time your heart gets a true break. During deep NEM sleep, your heart rate slows. This period is essential for repairing the endothelial lining of your blood vessels. With only 6 hours, you are cutting this recovery window short by 25% every single night. Your sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight driver, remains slightly overactive. As a result, your baseline blood pressure creeps up. The flexibility of your arteries begins to stiffen. Your body is running an engine that is slightly overheating, constantly, for 1,000 days straight. Systemic inflammation markers, like CRP, begin to rise, slowly scouring the inside of your blood vessels. We reach the 5-year mark. The most profound changes are now happening inside the skull. The glymphatic system is the brain's sewage system. It opens up only during deep sleep to wash away toxic waste. One of these waste products is beta amyloid, a protein aggregate linked to Alzheimer's disease. This cleaning process takes time. It cannot be rushed. Imagine a cleaning crew that is meant to clean until 7 a.m., but you force them to stop at 5 a.m. They leave trash behind. Small amounts, every single night. Over 5 years, this waste accumulates. The brain environment becomes noisy. You might notice you struggle to find words more often. You might walk into a room and forget why you are there. We blame it on a busy schedule. But biologically, it is the result of chronic, low-grade neurotoxicity. 8 years in. The consequences have reached the genetic level. Studies have shown that a single week of insufficient sleep alters the expression of over 700 genes. genes related to immune function are downregulated. You find you catch colds more easily. The body's ability to scan for and eliminate mutated cells is compromised. Conversely, genes related to inflammation and stress response are upregulated. You may develop new sensitivities, allergies, or skin conditions that you never had before. It is keeping you alive today by sacrificing the health of your tomorrow. 10 years. You have slept 6 hours a night for a decade. You look in the mirror. You look older than your peers. It is cellular. Telomeres, the protective caps on your chromosomes, have shortened at an accelerated rate. Your risk profile has shifted. You are statistically significantly more likely to develop type 2 diabetes and cardiovascular disease. But the most tragic loss is not a disease. It is the loss of potential. For 10 years, you have operated at 85% capacity. Slightly more irritable, slightly less creative. You have lived a decade in a gray zone of existence, functioning, but never flourishing. The tragedy is that you don't remember what fully rested feels like. The uncomfortable truth is that we cannot cheat biology. There is no such thing as training your body to need less sleep. Only training it to endure damage. However, the human body is also forgiving. The moment you begin to prioritize rest, the repair mechanisms re-engage. The glymphatic system washes the brain. The heart slows down. The insulin receptors heal. The path back to full health begins with a simple admission that 6 hours was never enough.